I am just fascinated with the people that can do all the body weight flows. I know you can't see me if you're not watching on YouTube, but they're on their hands and their legs are going frontward and backward and flipping around. And so that's actually, I'm working on mobility and body weight stuff. And I did my first session today of that, and it kicked my ass.
Welcome to Elevated Life, Real Wellness and Transformation Podcast, where we walk alongside the internally driven individual as they transform their life through wellness, movement, mindset, and personal responsibility. If that's you, you're in the right place. Let's jump in.
It is workout change-up time here at Elevated Life. So we thought that
is a funny way to start.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
I came up with it all on my own.
I believe you.
So we thought we would just run through kind of a lighter one. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But just go through what Johnna and I are both doing for our exercise routines, workout routines, resistance training, all that stuff, and why. And
yeah. So jump in, sir.
Go ahead.
Nope. You always toss the baton to me, and we're actually going to talk about Clint first today.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing the exact same thing.
No, you're
No,
not.
Liar. For the last several weeks, couple months, it doesn't matter, but I made a concerted effort to lift heavy, and I have lifted heavy, doing a lot of 4x4 set or even 5 or 6x4 set, and really focused on compound lifts.
How many days a week are you lifting heavy?
I was doing 3.
Okay.
3 days a week. One day where it was just focused, usually Saturday or Sunday, where it was just focused. I was lifting by myself. I mean, you were in the gym, but and just doing compound lifts, taking lots of rest period or rest time in between the sets, and it was fantastic. And I definitely gained a lot of strength, went up in my lifts. And then the other 2 days were our class. Johnna runs a strength training circuit class, and it's basically you do lift and then you have a minute rest. So the rest period is cut down just a little bit. So I wasn't going quite as heavy, but still going as heavy as I could for that format. So I was doing that for 3 days a week. And then probably 2 months ago or so, maybe about the same time, I introduced a HIIT routine. So HIIT, for those of you who aren't aware, high intensity interval training. So the idea behind it, I mean, there's a lot of different things, and I'll talk about mine, but it's kind of a sneaky way to get cardio in, because it's the format that I've been using. I've changed it up a little bit, but it's all kind of been the same. 15 exercises, and they range from various different plank type things, doing a plank and like a renegade row where you do a row, or lots of different stuff like that, or leg things, or more just like push up, that kind of thing.
Kind of leg things. Because a lot of your HIIT, for the listener, they could be doing that at home.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's minimal equipment.
It's no equipment, essentially. Yeah. The only thing, I have dumbbells for the renegade rows, but you can do those without dumbbells. And then I do a couple kettlebell things, but one of them is just a kettlebell thrust. And this is part for the legs too, where you start with a kettlebell at your chest, and then you do a squat. And then when you're coming up, you lift the kettlebell up over your head. And then it's a constant squat. So you could jug of milk or anything if you wanted to add weight. Or nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just go slow.
And just lift your hands up over your head. Because even doing that. So there's that. And then at first I was doing some stuff like jump squats. So you just squat and then jump and go right back down into the squat, or jump lunges.
I saw those, dude.
They're so hard.
So hard.
Yeah.
And you need, like I said earlier, no equipment. So what was your time like? Meaning, how long did you do the exercise? How long did you rest?
Yeah. So like I said, I had 15 exercises, did an exercise for a minute, rested for 30 seconds. Did the exercise, rested for 30 seconds. And I found there's a lot of different apps, but I found a great app. It ended up being like $5 one time, but you can build all kinds of different routines like that.
Do you want to share the app with the listeners?
Oh, man.
Do you remember?
I don't.
Maybe we'll put it in the show notes or what? I don't know the fancy word for that. You do. You're the tech guy.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description.
There you go.
But it's been great because you can set up, so I set it up so it's going to be 15 intervals of a minute and then 30-second break. It beeps just once or twice at 30 seconds. So if you're doing something during your minute, if you're doing something where you need to switch, so it's like 30 seconds, putting your left foot forward, doing something, 30 seconds.
It gives you time to transition.
It gives you just, it doesn't stop.
Okay.
But it tells you when you're at the 30 seconds. Yeah. And you can build out all kinds of different stuff. So
that's super cool. Can I just say something just because we own a gym and we built programs by ourselves, and we still seek out and purchase other things.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Because you don't know everything, and it's fun to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I do that, go all the way down the list, and the thing I love about the app is you don't have to pay attention to the time because it beeps,
right.
And you can set up the different tones.
Otherwise, you're just staring at your phone.
Exactly. Yeah. And it really keeps you, I'm on for a minute, I'm off for 30 seconds. It's not like I daydreamed and, I missed the window by, 10 seconds, whatever. So run down that. That takes 22 minutes to do. And then with no other, just the 30 seconds, which is pretty much enough time to figure out what my next thing is.
Yeah.
I have it all written out and printed out, so I'm not having to remember it, which I highly recommend. Write out your programs.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I've been doing the same one for 2 months, and it's still, I look at it, and I even have a couple little coaching notes by each exercise just to remember, okay, I want to keep my back straight on this one. I need to keep my hips elevated, whatever it might be.
Right.
So the 30 seconds is really just enough time to wrap your head around the next exercise.
And recover.
Well, it kind of.
Right, because you're doing jump squats for a minute and the recovery is only 30 seconds.
Yeah, and then you might be going into like a Spider-Man plank.
Right.
Where you're bringing your knees up to your elbows in a plank position for a minute. So there's a little bit of recovery, but like I'm not drinking any water or I'm not doing anything like that. Get through the 15 exercises. At that point, then I will catch my breath and get a drink of water, go blow my nose, whatever. Not quite fully, but for sure recover. Usually it ends, I don't put a time on it, but it usually ends up being, 4 minutes, something like that. So enough time I'm still sweating and, tired, but I've caught my breath at least. And then I start at the bottom and go back up. And with that one, I'm doing 40-second exercise, 30-second break. And it's really fascinating to me because it takes a while. I do warm-up stuff too before, but it takes a while to get your body going. And oftentimes the 40 seconds of when I'm going back up are actually, I can be more intense with it than even like the first 30 seconds when I'm coming down, right? Does that make sense? So if I'm doing like mountain climbers, when I'm coming down at the initial time, I'm dying and I haven't heard that 30-second beep yet. And then when I'm coming back up, I don't have a middle beep. So it's just tells me when I start, tells me when I'm done. I'll be just cruising along more intense and all of a sudden it's done. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So go back up and that takes 17 minutes.
So how long? Okay. You've been doing that for like 2 months.
2 months.
And you do it twice or three times a week?
I try to do it 3 times a week.
Hey, quick pause. If this episode is hitting you and you're ready for real tools, here's what we built.
Head on over to cjellevatedlife.com, pick up the Rebuilt Method for Men or the Rebuilt Method for Women, just $67 each. We also created the Parasite Detox Blueprint at $37. And this is actually the exact protocol we use ourselves.
And while you're there, sign up for the newsletter. You'll get the weekly action steps and new tools we've tested ourselves. Let's get back to the episode.
What was your goal with doing that? And, what have you noticed? Like, what have been the benefits of doing that?
I initially started doing it really just to get a cardio workout.
Yeah.
Do something. And I don't want to just plod on a treadmill.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
Especially for, this ends up being 45 minutes roughly. Yeah. I'm for sure not going to do it for that.
Right.
So I was like, I just want something that's going to be a trigger session for the heavy lifting days. So trigger session, just real quick. Basically, you're still using your muscles, but you're not damaging them.
Right.
So it still keeps blood flowing to them. It keeps the neurons firing, saying, "Hey, we need to use these things," but you're not breaking them down. So that was the original idea. And I've kind of transitioned a little bit into still doing it for that, but really focused more on core. So that's my real world core stuff, where I'm not just doing like weighted sit-ups or something like that. It's legitimate core exercises that are working on movement, not just weighted something. So that's been the focus recently. It's a little more
beginning
core.
Of the year, right?
Yeah.
Like, can we say that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I've been doing. Do you want to talk about what you've been doing, and then we can talk about where we're going?
Sure.
Or do you want me to keep talking?
No, mine's not as fancy as Clint's because I'm not doing HIIT. My goal coming into the new year was just to add more days. So I spent last year really working on my squat depth, and you guys know, if you've been longtime listeners, kind of feeling my body and going really slow and actually lifting pretty light in that. So at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, I want to add days, because I think I was working out 2-3 times a week prior to that last year a lot because of all the healing internal stuff I was doing. It was just too much stress on the body to have to lift that intensely. So starting this year, I decided that I wanted to add more days, and I wanted to lift heavier and kind of test that squat depth and see where I would be with mobility, and also work on pull-ups and dips and things of that nature. And so I've been working out. We work out like 5 to 6 times a week now. And depending, if we add that 6th day, it's because we're not super sore, right? So sometimes I take Wednesday off because I'm just so sore from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, a quick plug for what we talk about all the time. Listen to your body.
Yeah.
And we really try to do a good job of that. And it takes some being in tune with your body to know the days like, oh, I'm kind of sore, kind of tired. I don't know if I should really go work out. Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah.
Versus, no, my body needs a day off.
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I need to
You have already
recover.
Established discipline,
yes.
really, to know this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been working on that for like 2.5 months, and it's been great. However, I've developed some kind of shoulder. That's what I call it, my shoulder. And I've been kind of pushing through it, and I no longer want to. I'm listening to my own advice, where it's like, okay, there's some lifts that I'm just not going to go up in weight because it's not worth, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. I'm really excited about where my squat has come. Certain lifts have definitely been amazing, but now I'm like seriously scaling all the way back. So I will continue to teach Tuesday, Thursday advanced weightlifting at 6 o'clock in the morning at Elevated Fitness. And I'll lift heavy-ish, not like insane, but I'll lift heavy. But on those other days, I am working on mobility.
So this is what you're doing now.
Yes.
As you're you're kind of honing in what your schedule looks like to get more of a set. You want to do certain things on certain days.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Which hasn't been the case for the last few months.
No,
it was more just the day.
Right.
Now it's like the content in the day, so to speak.
Yeah. So I am just fascinated with the people that can do all the body weight flows. I know you can't see me if you're not watching on YouTube, but they're on their hands and their legs are going frontward and backward and flipping around. And so that's actually, I'm working on mobility and body weight stuff. And I did my first session today of that, and it kicked my ass. Like, the heaviest weight I lifted was 15 pounds because I did walking lunges. And other than that, everything else I did was body weight, very slow, very intentional, and hip mobility work. And I was pouring sweat. I was fatigued. I had muscle fatigue. I had to recover longer from doing some hip mobility moves than I would if I was doing a back squat. So super interesting. And then the other thing I did, so when I do dips, I use a band for assistance, and I've worked up to the point where I'm almost to the point where I don't need a band anymore. But what I decided is that I added a heavier band that was more of assisted, and I'm just going slow AF all the way down, slow all the way back.
That is brutal.
It is, but what I've realized is that, guess what? Like, you don't need fancy equipment, and we've said this over and over again, but you just don't. There's so much you can do, so many different flows. I really want to update my yoga flow. I have specific goals for the future with hip mobility. And that's what I'm going to focus on those other days. With exception to Friday, because Friday we have beginner weightlifting class, and I will most likely lift weights with those ladies, but that'll be super light. And then the other 3 days I am dedicating solely to learning these really cool flows that, there is a lady that I saw on Instagram. She had a reel, and she was talking about how when she first started weightlifting, all she cared about was how heavy she could go. And I was just like, dude, I so know what you're talking about, right? So she was talking about that, and then she realized that her body started breaking down, and she realized that mobility was so much more important. And she's explaining this to the people on the reel while she's doing a squat on a yoga ball. And she's like, there's no way in hell that I would have been able to do this before. And I thought, that's the kind of shit I want to do. I want to have that kind of stability, that kind of core strength, that kind of control and feeling over my body that I can do a squat on a freaking yoga ball.
That's such an incredible goal.
Yeah.
I can't even. And
I'm sure it's going to take a long time because, just with the current yoga flow that I've been doing, there's a pose that I wasn't able to bring my leg up through my arms, Warrior 2, and set it in front of my body. Basically, that's just like the layman's terms. I couldn't do that for a long time. And it took me about a year to get that mobility, doing that several times a week. So, we say this all the time, shit takes time. It just does. But I'm really excited about it and kind of blown away, really, at how, for someone who's been lifting for so long and also doing mobility work, but when you really lean into it, I was shocked today. Like, oh, it's hard for me to rotate. It's just like all these things. So I'm super excited about that.
Listeners, you should have seen her at the gym today. I looked over. I was just doing some band stuff, kind of transitioning into what I'm going to be doing. And I looked over and I thought she was possessed. Like one of those weird things.
What I was doing. Okay.
Yeah. She did a kind of a wider leg squat down 290. Like, it was a deep squat.
It was all the way it was seated as far as my body could handle.
Yeah, as far down as you could go. And then she was walking.
Yeah.
So down in that position, walking like halfway across the gym. It was.
I did not walk halfway across.
Yes,
Thank you for saying that. But no, the first time I did it, I walked maybe, I don't know, 5 steps on each side. And I was just like, am I going to be able to come out of this position? Like, honestly, I wasn't sure if I was just going to fall forward or be able to push myself back up. The second time I went farther, because like you were saying with your HIIT, you know, it gets easier, I guess. And it takes time to learn moves, whatever that move is. And once you get better, but yeah, that holding that squat position and walking forward, dude, that was hardcore.
The way I like to think about it is it gets it gives you the ability to increase your intensity.
Yeah.
Whether it's holding the form better or going faster or slower, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Or for a longer, you know, you can walk longer. I don't know if it's ever easy.
No, it's never easy. The cool thing is, though, I started this routine today with a bunch of hip mobility stuff. And I felt a tingle in my legs, which is my psoas releasing. And it was crazy. And I was super stoked about that because there's so much energy attached to the psoas. And so that's exciting. And that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work on my pelvic tilt. I'm still trying to rehab my toe, which I feel like the first phase of that at the beginning of the year maybe did not more damage, but didn't help as much as, you know, it was supposed to help because I have different issues. So still working with that.
Hey friends, if you're getting something out of this, connect with us on our social media platforms. We're at CJ Elevated Life _ on Instagram and TikTok, and CJ Elevated Life on Facebook and X. We're answering DMs, sharing daily content, and building community with people ready for real transformation. For now, hit subscribe wherever you're listening, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We drop 2 new episodes every week. And if this episode resonates, share it. That's how we reach more people who are ready for change. You can also find everything at cjelevatedlife.com. All right, let's keep going.
But just as an aside, because I like to point out these real world examples, that was a good example of you getting information, because you weren't just like flying blind, you know, I think this will fix my toe.
No.
Getting information, filtering it through your knowledge, and then trying it.
Yeah.
And it's something that works for other people.
Totally.
But didn't work for you because of whatever reasoning. Doesn't mean it was a failure.
No.
It just means now you have even more insight into your body.
Yep. Yeah. So that's basically how, and I'm not putting a date on this. I feel really excited about being able to master these flows that I have seen and creating my own, because I never, just follow someone else blindly. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. And mind you, these people that are doing these flows, right? They are freaking jacked. And I don't mean bodybuilder jacked. I would say like lean and strong, right? It would be jacked in my mind, but
I think they're jacked how most people that want to build muscle want to look.
Totally.
Because most people that want to build muscle don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. Or Joey Swole.
Or yeah.
Like, how do I even walk?
Right. Yeah. They look like how, I mean, at least I know for me, when I watch those with the guys doing them, like, that's exactly how I want to look.
Yeah, aesthetic goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. So not a ton of heavy lifting. And like I said, it requires no equipment. So I'm just, really excited about it.
You know what I found is it requires more mental toughness and discipline.
Oh, I
even
totally
just the
agree.
HIIT stuff.
And even just going slow, like, doing my dips. Well, sure, I'm almost no banded, but that's because I'm just like pumping that shit out, right? I mean, there's no pause, there's no even being in my head, or in my body, excuse me. I'm just like pushing through. So when you have to slow it down and feel the muscles and feel your body, it's a totally different exercise. And it was harder today in different ways than what it is when I do it with a lighter band. And also a lot less strain in my neck. When I do dips, I get strained in my neck because I'm like bracing myself, right? And then it's like, oh, wait a second. So that was good. It worked out really well, and I'm super excited about it. So listener, you don't need equipment. You don't.
And we were talking after the workout, you really don't realize until you do it with so many of those bodyweight things. Like you'll do 3 or 4 reps and just be pouring sweat and exhausted
and muscle fatigue. That's the other thing. It wasn't just like I'm hot because my blood is moving. It's like, oh my gosh, can I stand back up out of this squat because my muscles are fatigued? I had the biggest quad pump from doing that. I mean, it was just, super helpful.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that we're doing this, beyond just the desire for mobility and getting in that flow, because it's spectacular, and it'll be fun to keep everybody updated on where we go. Because I am to talk about what I'm doing now.
I just went right into what I was doing.
That worked out fine. I'm transitioning my HIIT days to be more like what Johnna was talking about. Really focused on mobility. Still going to have some core focus because it's part of everything. But
it is.
But really working on flow and mobility and body control and balance and all those things. And then treating Tuesday, Thursday more like a HIIT, because one thing you can do with HIIT is just actually still lift, but it's just lifting for the full minute, and it's going to be lighter, but it's going to be higher reps, and then you get your break and then doing that. So you're still getting your heart pumping a little bit, which is good. Part of the reason, at least for me, that I'm doing that is we're moving into, I don't know if we want to call it a cut, but dialing in nutrition a little bit.
Yeah, a cut.
I don't even know if because I shouldn't say that either, because we eat pretty good all the time.
Right, but a little bit more honed in.
Yeah, just more honed in. And so I don't want to be I don't want to be beating my body up too much, with heavy lifting when I might be even further away from a protein target or just nutrition or nutrients in general. So that's why I'm kind of transitioning beyond just the ability to at least even think about doing all those things that you see in those
I
reels,
know, it's so inspiring.
Incredible.
And it's just funny because a lot of people ask, what workout routine should I be doing? What should I be doing? And my answer has always been, because I learned this, what you're currently not doing. Right? So if you're at that 3 sets to 10 rep range, then you should go down to a 4x6 and lift heavier, or you should go up to a 4x25 and lift lighter, right? Or you take some time off and you do HIIT, or you start incorporating HIIT, or you start incorporating yoga, which I think is phase 1 of mobility, to be honest with you. And then, look up some of these what would we call them? Body flows, where you're just using your body. And, it's funny because body weight squats always get a bad, it's nothing rap. And we've talked about them endlessly. But for those of you who do body weight squats, slow it down. Slow that shit down. Maybe you're just boinging up and down doing those body weight squats. Slow it way down and get really deep as your body will go into that squat, and then come out of the hole nice and slow.
that just reminded me, one of the things I do in my current HIIT routine is I can't remember pulses is what it's called. And so basically you're doing a full body weight squat down, then you come up about 4 inches.
And then you
go back down, and you come up, and you go back down, and you come up. So you're doing like just little mini.
Right at the bottom of that movement.
Right at the bottom. Yeah. Coming just out of the hole, essentially, and then living in like 4 to 6 inches.
In weakness land. That's what that is.
Yes, it
because
is.
When you go into the hole, you're using momentum to push yourself out.
Yeah.
When you're just going, it's
you
like,
got nothing.
can I even squat 10 pounds right here? No.
It's exactly how I feel when I do it. Yeah. Yeah. So there's all kinds of, that's just another variation of paying attention to what you're doing and doing a bodyweight squat.
Yeah. So anyway, for the listener today, remember that we have Rebuilt, and Rebuilt starts with body weight and progresses all the way up to using dumbbells and barbells. You can find that on our website, cjelevatedlife.com. If you found value in this podcast, please rate, review, and share, and reach out and ask questions. And also, in the future, I don't know when that's happening, we might drop a YouTube on the actual flows once we get a momentum on what we're doing and really honing it in. We might post those on YouTube for you guys to, explore. We'll keep you posted when that gets done, but we need to build momentum on that. And it's not even so much that I care that I'm not doing it perfect. It's that I haven't built the program out to where it's actually flowing. Right. So once that happens, we'll put that on YouTube so that you guys can see. And seriously, do some body weight stuff. The other thing is push-ups. I know we're at the end of this, but the average push-up is difficult for almost 100% of the population, at least the 96%. So anyway, thank you so much for listening, and have a fantastic day.
We'll talk to you soon.